Hello, welcome back to my channel. I am Sabrina. So in one of my past videos, I posted about this top, and on that video, I got a comment asking if I could make a tutorial on how I made that top. So that's what this video is about. This is the finished top. Let's get started with the tutorial right now. I hope you like it, and I hope it's easy to follow along with. Okay, so now we need to find our gauge for our top. So I knitted up this swatch already. It's a 3x2 knitting stitch pattern. So make sure that your swatch is in that pattern too. So a rib stitch, 3 knit, 2 purl. I did that 25 times. So now I'm going to measure my piece. So I don't want to measure it like this when it's not stretched, because the reality is that it's going to be stretchy. And if it looks like this all the way around, it's going to be like really wider than we want it to be. So I'm going to stretch it out when I measure it, okay? A good amount. So I'm stretching it out to the 6-inch mark. And so that's like a good amount of stretch. I feel like that's what it'll look like right here. So I'm going to write down 6 inches equals 25 stitches because I cast it on 25, and the whole piece, the width of it is 6 inches. So now I am going to measure around my my chest above my boobies. 32, you can't really see. 32 inches, that's where it lines up with the 0 mark. So I'm going to write down 32 inches equals X. And then I have another video on how you can do the math, but I'm just going to figure it out real quick. So I calculated that I need 140 stitches on my needles in order for the shirt to fit me. So I'm going to do that right now. I just finished casting on 140 stitches, but I added 1 because we need to join it. We need to join this piece so that way it's a circle, not flat. And then I'm going to make sure that it's not twisted at all, because then it's going to twist your work, and that's not the goal. Not for this piece. To join your stitches in the round invisibly, you're going to slip the extra stitch we casted on, and then you're going to pass the stitch before it over the extra stitch. And now it's joined together. You're going to place your stitch marker, and then you're going to begin knitting. So to knit the rib stitch, you're going to knit 3 times. 1, 2, and 3, and then you're going to purl twice. And to purl, you're going to bring your working yarn to the front and purl. You're going to continue doing that on and on and on again until it's time to move on to the next step. Okay, so now that I've joined my stitches in the round and I've shown you guys how to do the 3x2 rib stitch, I'm going to continue just doing that over and over again until I get to about like 5 rows, then I'll check in. Oh my god, okay, so it's been like an hour and I've only knit up 2 rows. And that is because since it's black, I had to undo the first row that I did 2 times because I couldn't, like, I messed up, and like it didn't go evenly. It was like I knit the 3 and then there were 3 purl stitches left over, and I was like, that's not right because it's knit 3 purl 2. And so I counted all of them and I was like, did I like totally count wrong and I have the wrong amount of stitches? No, I have 140 stitches on here. So it should work. So then I undid it and then I did it wrong again. So then I undid the first row a second time and I still did it wrong. I was so frustrated. I was like, you know what? It's black. You can't even notice. So I just did it. Like you can't tell. You won't be able to tell the mistake because it's literally on the first row. So I finished knitting the second row and I did it right. I'm just checking in. This is how far I've gotten. I haven't gotten to the point where I think it might be long enough. So I'm not even gonna try it on yet, but I will try it on and I'll show you how I take it off the needles so you could try it on once I get there. All right, so I've finally gotten to this point and like my dog sat on this. So it is so hairy that I definitely need to lint roll before I take any pictures or anything. But I've gotten to this point and I want to try it on. So I'm going to show you guys what you can do to try it on. Take a needle and I have this scrap yarn and take it through the needle. Dante, quiet. My dog Dante doesn't like kids at all. Okay, and then if you like slip it off slip the stitch off the needle onto your darning needle and then just kind of like be putting it on this scrap yarn and doing it all the way around until you've gathered all of your stitches. Then you can try it on. I'm gonna try to cover the sunlight that's coming in because it's actually really bothering me. But here I have the tube on, oh no, that's fine. On my scrap yarn, I'm going to tie a bow so that way it doesn't like accidentally slip off of anything. Dante, quiet. You've literally been quiet this whole entire time, and once I started recording is when you decide to bark. That is so mean. You always do this. Dante, quiet. Okay, so now that I have my bow, I can stretch it out, you know? So I'm gonna try it on and see if I like the size of it. So I think maybe if I knit five more rows and then try it on again to see how it looks, then we'll move on from there. But this is taking longer than I wanted it to take, and it's purely based on the fact that I am so bored because I want it to be a certain length, but I'm bored of just doing the same thing with like nothing changing, like just going over and over and over and over again. So I'm getting bored. Also, when you want to like I can't talk. When you want to put the stitches back on your needle, all you have to do is start at one end, untie the knot, and carefully start picking up the stitches purlwise, like this, and putting them on your needle. Okay, I finished knitting up the rest of the rows, and now I'm going to take my darning needle and my scrap yarn that I used to take the project off the needles so I can try it on, and we're going to split this in half. Me personally, I have 70 stitches on my needle and 70 stitches on the scrap yarn. So now we're going to start making our armpit holes. To make your first decrease, you're going to slip your first stitch, slip the next stitch, and then you're going to knit the two together. And then you're going to knit the rest of the way through on that row. When you start your next row, you'll slip, slip, stitch again, according to your pattern. Once again, I've reached the end of my row, so now I'm on the wrong side, and I'm going to slip, slip, purl this time. Basically, you're going to slip it again, and just like how I showed with the knitting, instead of knitting, you're gonna purl. Okay, I'm on my last decrease row, and as you can see, like, you can tell that it's slanted, and that's what you want. And then also, because I don't like a lot of side boobage, I'm only doing 3, so that way it still covers a good amount. And it's a square neckline, so we want it to look as square as possible. So I'm going to do my last decrease, and then I'm going to knit up a few rows, just straight back and forth until I'm happy with the neckline height. It has literally been so long since the last time I worked on this top. I've been feeling very unmotivated to knit lately. I have something in my throat. But I'm finally going to continue, and yeah, so I've gotten to the length that I want. Please ignore again all the dog hair. So I'm on the wrong side right now. This is going to be the front, and this is the back, the side that we took off. I'm going to knit 10. I'm going to cast off, but I'm going to leave 10 stitches on the needle, and then I'm going to tie them off again. I'm going to work on one strap, and then I'm going to work on the other, and then I'm going to attach them. So I'm going to show you guys how to do that. I'm going to begin casting off now in the front of my top. So I'm starting off by knitting in pattern the first 10 stitches, because those 10 stitches are going to be for my sleeve. Okay, so now I have my 10 stitches, as you can see. And I'm going to start doing Jenny's super stretchy cast off method. You start off by knitting 1 in pattern, and then you're going to yarn over and knit the next stitch. Now you've created 1 new stitch. You're going to pass the stitch over the one that you just made. I'm having a bit of a hard time here. And then you're gonna pass the first stitch that you knitted up over it too. So now you've casted off 1. So you're going to again yarn over and pass both the yarn over stitch that you made and the stitch before it over the new stitch. And you're going to keep on doing that over and over again until you've casted off the 11th stitch from the end, because you need to knit 10 stitches for the sleeve on the opposite side. This is what my top is looking like now. I have 10 stitches on this side, I cast it off, and then 10 stitches on the other side. Now I have this is where the working yarn is. So I'm going to take this stitch holder. You could use string like I did here and take these 10 stitches that aren't attached to the working yarn and put them on here. So now they're on here, and I'm going to start knitting this strap in stockinette. So if you can see, I have like a little bit left, but I'm going to leave it at that because it's stretchy and I'd rather it fit me like a little bit tighter and then stretch out over time than fit me loose from the beginning, you know? So I'm going to leave it like that. Okay, I'm going to measure how long the strap is, and I'm going to knit this strap to be the same length. Okay, so this is 12. So I was so close to what I was aiming for. I said that I wanted it to be 13, but I am going to leave it at 12. I don't know why I stuttered right now, but I'm gonna leave it at 12 inches, and I'm going to then sew this, and off camera I'm going to just cast off the same way I showed you to cast off this way. And once that's ready, then I'll come back and show you Kitchener's stitch, probably tomorrow. It's morning. Good morning. I am done with the sleeves. They're both on this one stitch holder, and then I cast it off. Oh my god, you can't tell. I cast it off in the back. So now we're going to do Kitchener stitch. I'm going to take these stitches and put them on my needle, and then I have my other sleeve, and I'm going to keep it on the stitch holder. Basically, I'm noticing that I didn't do enough because I want my working yarn to be like this, but it would be crooked if I twist it like that. So I'm going to knit one more row so that way the working yarn is on this side. So now if we straighten it out, the yarn is like this, and it starts on the right side. You have to pick up the same amount of stitches that you have on your needle. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So I'm going to pick up 10 stitches. 9 and 10. Okay, so now you can take the other side of your needle and put them on. Okay, so now that you have picked up your stitches, you should have your stitches on your needle, and then the straps stitches on the other needle, and it should look like this. You hold your strap stitches in the back and your picked up stitches in the front, and the working yarn is in the back. Then you're going to take your needle and you're going to thread the needle. So to start off, you are going to insert your yarn or your needle through the front, through the picked up stitches purlwise. And then you're going to do the same thing to the first stitch in the back needle, but knitwise, like this. Now you are going to insert your needle into the first stitch again, but this time knitwise, if it'll let me. Knitwise. Oh my goodness. This always happens. Knitwise, like this, and you're going to slip it off, and you're going to pull and tighten, and then you're going to insert it again in the first needle, the first stitch now in the front purlwise. You want to make sure that that doesn't happen, and you're going to pull. Now you're going to insert the first stitch in the back needle purlwise and slip it off, and you're going to pull. Now the next needle in the back, this stitch, you're going to insert the needle knitwise, and you're going to pull, tighten, and you're going to do the first thing that we did. You're going to knit, slip, and then insert this purlwise into the next stitch. It stays on the needle, and then you're going to purl slip this stitch off, and sew through knitwise. And you're just going to continue doing this back and forth until you're done, until all of the, until all of the stitches are off your needles. So I finished joining them together, and for me, sometimes this happens, doesn't always happen, where it kind of looks like detached on the sides. So all I'm going to do is just weave through to make sure that it's like connected well. Just like that. And then you can go ahead and like take it to the other side and connect it like that as well, a little bit. Dun, 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 dun. No ends. Okay, I'm gonna try it on and then I'm going to block it. Please ignore that my room is messy. I feel like I say that in every single video, and that's just because my room is always messy. But I do need to clean my room. It's getting out of hand for sure. But anyways, Halloween fit. This is what it looks like over my shirt. Okay, I'm going to throw this in the wash because this is like 100% acrylic yarn. I'm gonna throw this in the wash and then tumble dry low. And while that's happening, we're gonna make a star. It's time to make a star. I'm gonna use size 7 needles and this white yarn because I want my top to be black and white. So I learned how to make a star from them. They have a YouTube video, and then they also have a website where they have the pattern for the stars. So I encourage you to go look at that video and that pattern. I don't want to take credit for that. So I'm going to make the star while the washer is washing, and you can go watch that video and we can meet back up later. 2 things happened. I washed and lint rolled the shirt. I decided I am not gonna block it. Well, technically I like washer blocked it, but the sleeves are still super like curled in, and I kind of like how thin they are, so I am just gonna leave it here. In the original one, I crocheted all the way around like every single border. For this one, I'm just going to crochet a white border around the top, the back of the top, and then like all the way around the bottom, and then leave the rest of it. But yes, I am going to do that. And I also finished the star. So I like to wrap my yarn around my fingers like this and hold on to the end, and then I'm going to come into this hole. I'm going to wrap my hook around the yarn, and I'm going to pull through, and then I'm going to skip the next hole. I'm going to go into the next stitch. I'm going to wrap my hook around, pull it through the stitch, and then I'm going to wrap my hook around again and pull it through 2. So I'm going to skip the next hole, and I'm going to come into this stitch. I'm going to wrap my yarn again around the hook, and I'm going to pull through the 2 stitches on my hook. Gonna skip this one, and then gonna go into this next stitch. Okay, it's morning, and I am wearing the exact same thing that I was wearing yesterday. I finished crocheting. It's the top and then the bottom. I need to weave in the ends, and then I'm going to attach the star to the top, and I will be done. Finally. I am watching a YouTube video right now. I'm watching Kate Bias, I think. And I'm going to sew on the star. Ta-da! I literally just changed, but I realized that the last time, the way I was able to get the star on right was by sewing it on myself. So I'm gonna have to put this sweater on. But before I do that, let me just go over the things that you need. Well, that would be helpful. If you have like little darts, it would be super helpful to pin it in place, and you can like stretch out the star. You're obviously going to need a darning needle. And then I'm gonna use those same white disaster of yarn that I used for the star. But I mean, if you want an accent, like an outline along the star, you could do it in the black yarn. I think that would be cool. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this on. I feel like it's kind of giving maid. Like if I knitted a black skirt and then like did this along the end of it, it could be a maid costume. Ooh, Halloween costume idea. Anyways, I'm gonna put this on. Okay, this is the top. Ah, it's so cute. I like this one so much more than the first one. I'm gonna show you the first one again, just to like remind you of what it looks like. So this is this version, and this is the first version. This is like a cotton and acrylic blend, and this was acrylic only, the yellow, and obviously I did it all the way around everywhere for this one, and then the yellow star. And then for this one, I kind of just like how it's rolled up, and I didn't want to add the crochet along here, but you totally could, and you could do it the same exact way that I showed you, like just everywhere. So I originally for this one sewed on the star just by laying it flat, and that didn't do it. Like it kind of looked like a deformed just like blob when I tried it on. So I've learned from my mistakes, and I highly recommend that you put on your shirt and then you take your darts and your star, because see, like even this, it's like a little like uneven. Why? I do not know, but you could always just pull it and to make it look even when it's on you. You're gonna take your first dart and just like find the placement of it. Like you could literally, you could put it anywhere, but I'm gonna put it here. And I'm going to secure it on, pin it on. So that's there. Okay. You can't see the pins because I've been accidentally grabbing white ones, and then this one's black, so they camouflage. So, ow, I just poked myself. Okay, I'm pretty happy with how that looks. Yeah. Now you're gonna take your needle. You're gonna thread the yarn through the needle, and you want to start from the inside. I'm gonna start at the top just because it's easier that way. I'm gonna go like this and end at the top. It's on. It's a little crooked. I think it adds character. As long as you could tell it's a star is a star. The top is done. Let me know if this tutorial was easy to follow. I've never done anything like this. But I think it was cool. Thank you to the one person that commented wanting to know if I could do a video tutorial on this, because I didn't think that would happen, and it did, and that was really flattering. But comment down below if you will be making this, / if you made this, whether it was easy or not. Like really, like don't be brutal, but be honest, because if I need to improve, then I need to improve. Let me know if you'd like me to do more tutorials on anything that I've already made. I would be happy to. And if you do make this top and like you want to like post about it or whatever, tag me. that would be so cool if I could get like one person that recreated this shirt and it's like, yeah, like I followed Sabrina's tutorial, like of happiness. I would, yeah, happiness. Anyway, my Instagram, this is my Instagram. You could do either this one, or you could even tag me on TikTok because I'm there too. To be honest, I think I post more about knitting on TikTok than I do on Instagram, but like photos are really cool and I would love to see it. Like I would be fangirling. Yeah, I mean, I like the black and white. Anyway, bye. This video is getting way too long. Thanks for watching.